Hello, this is David. It's almost the end of December here in 2024. I wanted to do a video on the good things about the Mormon Church. Now, I know 800 of you, or whatever it is, 3.5 million people who looked at my videos, they probably all just fell off their chairs. Sir David the Bard and Cockroach Disability, my two channels. I've spent 12 years talking about my experience, what happened to me, my family in the Mormon Church, what it was like to be a Mormon, and what it's like not to be a Mormon. This morning, because of my age, and I'm not going to be here very long. Now that I've sued the Mormon Church, I might not be here in the next 10 minutes. Things can happen, if you know what I mean. Mountain Meadows, things happened. Anyway, I've learned in my old age that the world is not black and the world is not white. And one of the things about a cult like the Mormon Church is they teach us everything is black and white. You're either with us or against us. You're either in or you're out. You're either moral or you're immoral. One of the things about a cult that is hideous is it takes away from us as human beings reasonableness. We can't see the real world. We see the world in two colors, black and white. And I've learned in my wisdom and my journey down this path of learning as a human being that the world is mostly gray. The continuum that we see now being accepted in society, autism, gender, those are starting to be much more accurate measurements of life and life experiences. So I have to indicate to you that I've been out of the church now, 12 years, 15, who knows? It's not long enough, but anyway. My wife is still a member of the Mormon Church. My wife is a returned missionary for the Mormon Church. And we live together, mostly in peace, mostly in harmony, if you know what I mean, if you're married. She went on a mission, and her mission in the Philippines really changed her life for the better. For the better. She has tremendously happy, good feelings about her mission experience and the opportunity in her mind to go on a mission and to be a member of the church. Now, again, I want to be a voice of reasonableness. In life, we don't get that. Most of us are either Democrats or we're Republicans. We're either in the church or we're out of the church. We're either rich or we're poor. We're either black or we're white. That's just humans. I don't want to be human. A lot of people who have met me go, "You're not human." So maybe that's a majority opinion. There are good things. Let me give you a list of good things about the Mormon Church. My experience, not what I think, not what I've been taught, my experience. When I was growing up in Ojai, California, there were only 3 or 4 of us in the Nordhoff High School that were Mormons. And I went to early morning seminary. It didn't kill me. It was, an hour before we had to get up to go to school, and we had to go over to the church and have a lesson. It didn't kill me. I made some friends over there with the LDS kids, and it was clean. It was a wholesome kind of an environment. I had many teachers that taught seminary. One of them, Mignon Young, I'm sure she's dead now, but she was very kind and very supportive and very helpful to me as a teenager. And So my early morning seminary was a modest, reasonable experience. It it was, I'm going to say, more positive than negative. No problem. More positive than negative. Not a lot more, but a little bit. Well, then I went through high school, and a lot of my friends, of course, were smoking, drinking, screwing, drugging, and being in jail, and DUIs, and cars that they stole, and some went to Vietnam and were killed. Um, I had a fairly positive experience not being part of the group. I didn't get a VD. I didn't get, um, you know, lung cancer, smoking, drinking, drugging. I didn't do any of that, and I credit the Mormon Church for that. I was raised that way with my parents being LDS, and that caused me to avoid a lot of life's problems as a teenager. I never got arrested. I never had a juvenile charge. I've never had an adult charge. I've never been arrested. I have a perfect, so far, criminal record. Now that I sued the Mormon Church, I'll probably be in handcuffs and in front of a blood atonement firing squad at any moment, but be that as it may. So I was positive that the Mormon Church was a positive influence on me in my youth. I certainly was a virgin when I got married, but my hands weren't, and my mouth wasn't, if you know what I mean. And you do. No one watches my videos that doesn't know what the hell I'm talking about. I was a normal kid. I had the same curiosity of sexuality, and I'm still that way today. I like girls. I'm sorry, but fast cars and beautiful women. If the Mormon Church, rather than paying me off in millions of dollars for settling my lawsuit, if they said, we're going to send Marie Osmond over to your home, your girlfriend that you've had for all 50 years, and you can visit with her, and we'll buy you a new '57 Chevy, black, triple black. I'll say, okay, I'll take it. Don't give me millions of dollars settlement. My weakness is Marie Osmond and beautiful cars, fast. So I was positive. The Mormon Church put a good influence on me. I also had what we used to call mutual MIA, Mutual Improvement Association. And you can see I was in that for years, and that was a failure. To me, I have not been mutually improved at all. I've been mutually excluded. But MIA was the young men and young women's program, and it gave us things to do, places to go. We traveled. I had good friends there. We had fireside type parties and little get-togethers, and had wholesome kind of entertainment and recreation for young people. And I had a lot of friends in high school that got into trouble, all kinds of trouble, and I didn't. I got employed very young in my life, 15 years old. I worked for R.C. Merriam of the Merriam-Webster Dictionary. His family hired me. I was a male nurse to him until he passed away, and they influenced my life for good. So the Mormon Church, up to my high school, had been a very positive thing. Well, then I went off to BYU, and I'm going to be very honest again. I want to see the gray. The Mormon Church is not all bad, but the Mormon Church is also not all good. So I want the facts, not the truth. I want the facts, not the truth. The stupid people are in the middle. I don't want to be in the middle. I want the facts. So when I decided to graduate high school in Ojai, California, I went to my counselor. I can't think of her name. Her picture's right in my eye here. And I was sitting down. She was sitting down. And she said to me, David, now that you're graduating from high school, what are you going to do with the rest of your life? And that was the first time I had ever had that question or that idea in my head. And I said to Mrs. Lamar, I'm trying to think of her name. I said to her, well, I think I'm going to go to college. You would think that I just showed her the funniest cartoon a human being could see. She must have been 53 years old. She went into hysterical laughter, like I was standing there naked dancing in front of her. Um, she couldn't believe that I would think I would go to college. That didn't encourage me a lot. My counselor, Mrs. LaRue, that was her name, laughed so hard that I had a moment of thought. Gee, did I say something really stupid, as usual, or something really funny? So I said, yeah, I think I'm going to go to college. And she said, well, no, I've been a counselor now over 77 years. I've counseled a lot of people. Well, this counselor said to me, which is something I would have never said in a million years. She said, David, if you were the last human being on the face of this earth, you would not be able to graduate or go to college. So I said to myself, well, that's encouragement. That's a real positive high school counselor. She's really motivating me. And you know what? It did motivate me. I thought, shit, I'm going to prove her wrong. Fuck that. I think I'll try to go to college. And I thought, my parents were not college educated people. I was the first one in my whole genealogical line that ever graduated college or had master's degrees, etc. So I started thinking, where the hell am I going to go to college? And in Ventura, there's a junior college, Ventura Junior College. And I thought, well, that's a kind of a glorified high school. And then, I don't know, I don't like the inspirational revelation. I don't like those words, but I don't know how else to describe it. So I thought, well, maybe I'll apply to BYU because I was Mormon. And I knew there was a Brigham Young University in Provo, Utah. I was living in California. And I had no money. I had no ability we were middle-class family. We had 5 kids, and my dad was a printer at a newspaper. My mom was a beautician, so we were not a rich family. And none of them had a college education. So long story short, I decided to apply to Brigham Young University. And I have to say my parents did help pay for my college degree at Brigham Young. My dad gave me a check for $10 for the application fee to BYU. That was it. That was the first and last $10 I ever got for my education at BYU. I paid all the rest of it myself working. So I want to credit where credit is due. My father gave me $10 to go to BYU. So I applied. Well, in high school, my grades were less than good. I think my GPA was somewhere around 2.2 or 2.1, something like that. So it wasn't a Harvard admission candidate, if you know what I mean. Well, again, I'm trying to be realistic, factual. BYU took me. I'm thankful. Right here, I can feel the goosebumps. BYU did take me as a college student. I was in shock. I don't know why they took me. There's certainly many other LDS and even non-LDS, but BYU, the 99% LDS, much more qualified people than me, much more qualified. Well, they accepted me, and I thought, well, this is a good thing. The Mormon Church did a good thing. They took me probably when no one else would have taken me at a 4-year junior college in Ventura. I could have gone to. Anybody can go to a junior college. So anyway, that was a good thing. Well, I had some good experiences at BYU. I was on the ballroom dance team. That was very enjoyable. Took up a lot of my time and had a little bit of talent there. And BYU hired me. They said, gee, David, you're a good enough dancer that would you like to be a teacher? And we'll pay you. I said, that's a good idea. I can use pay. So I taught dance there at the Wilkinson Center up in the upstairs on the wood floors up there. And that was a very positive experience for me. I was a stake dance director in a couple of stakes. I went to a couple of dance festivals. They don't have those anymore, where all the young people got to come to Utah and dance in a football field, certain dances, etc. So those were positive things. And I did finally get married the first time to a BYU student, Janice. And she was a really good person and a good mother. And that was a positive experience. I got married in the Manti Temple. My mother did not want to go to the temple. My mom had much more foresight than the rest of us. She said she didn't want to hide behind curtains and act foolish. And then I understand now she was talking about the endowment ceremony. But she acquiesced, and my dad, the patriarch, forced her to get her temple recommended, forced her to go to the Manti Temple and watch me get married. Well, those were some positive things about the Mormon Church. I've got 2,000 videos that indicate some of the negative things about the Mormon Church that happened to me. But I want to be balanced. I want to be fair. I want to be truthful. I want to be transparent. I want to be honest. Those are words that the Mormon Church can't even spell or look up on AI. There were some positive things. I'm glad I didn't get an STD. I'm glad right now I don't have lung cancer. I'm glad I don't have, tongue cancer, chewing tobacco, or the coffee thing. I drink so many Cokes a day, you wouldn't believe it. So I don't drink coffee because I just don't like it. So the word of wisdom was not a big deal. And so coming out of that organization, it did have some good things. and I want to be fair. I want to be balanced. I don't want people to ever say, "Oh, you looked at all of his videos and he had an axe to grind. He wanted to leave the church. He wanted to destroy the church. He wanted to drink and smoke and screw everything, and he had his feelings hurt." No, it's none of that. It's simply that I looked at the doctrine and I looked at the behavior of the men who have run the Mormon Church, and I said, "No, this is not going to, float my boat. I'm out of here." After I got educated, I got to be able to read. As the internet came out, I became aware of the deficiencies, and that's a kind word, the deficiencies of the Mormon Church and its leadership. The Mormon people, I have to be honest and say, gosh, I'm going to say at least, I'm going to say 70% of the Mormon people are just really good, solid people. They're people who want a better life for themselves, their family. They pay their taxes. They're honest people. They are good neighbors. They're good workers. They're honest people. The other 30% is the net of the mentally ill, the disenfranchised, the marginalized, the third world recipients of discrimination, divorce, disability, unemployment. The other 30% are the armpit of the Mormon Church. So the leadership is where we have a big division. There is a phrase, and I can ask AI, I should have before I did the video, a phrase in the Mormon Church that as soon as a man gets power, as he supposes, he begins to exercise unrighteous dominion. I don't know why the Mormon Church has that quote and then has, 15 apostles and first presidency and mission presidents and all of the other bureaucratic people that take the people's money. But that's what's happened. I don't think it was ever a restored church. Jesus didn't have a church. That is a fallacy. If you go into the Bible, he did not have a church when he was on the earth. Paul, after Christ's death, then began to organize a little bit the members that followed Christ. But a long story short, It's the corruption of the leadership. They've stolen the people's money. They lie. They cheat. They put on a Jesus mask and then hide behind that and are all manner of evil and wickedness. So I want to be fair. Fair in my life was there were some positive things that the Mormon Church, its philosophy, and the people, not the leadership. The leadership never did shit for me. But the general people in the ward and at the stake level were good to me. They were kind to me. They gave me opportunity. And I did get a degree from BYU in social work and child development and family services. So I'm grateful for that. I'm very grateful for that. That put me on an educational path that I eventually got another 1 year of law school. After that, I got another 2 master's degrees, one from Northeastern State in Tahlequah, Oklahoma, another one from Springfield College in Springfield, Mass. And since then, I've been able to, do some research in sudden infant death and counsel and help. And so I really kind of came out of a paradigm of there were some good things that the Mormon Church did for me, but there were some very, very bad things it did to me and for me, as far as self-esteem, as far as not being able to understand the principles of Christ. They never taught that to me. I've had to learn all of that in my old age with my AIs and my friends and whatever, learning the principles of Christ. Those things were never even present in the Mormon Church. So I wanted to make this video so that when I go to my deathbed, people say, "Oh no, he hated the church. He was against the church. He hated he." These little fanatical people that I don't read my comments. I never have, because they're not important to me. There's been maybe some comments. People say, "Oh, he's a good person." There may be millions of comments. "Oh, he's an asshole." It doesn't affect me. I'm bipolar, 1. Friendship is not important to me. Socialization is not important to me. I see facts. And then I see people's truth. They're very different things. The facts and the truth are very different. So, to somewhat offset 2,000 videos that kind of were negative things that the Mormon Church did to me, here's one that I'm saying there were some good things about the Mormon Church. It's kind of like, I guess I'm going to end my video, it's kind of like a prostitute. There's some good things about a prostitute. She's probably beautiful. She probably whispers in your ear things you want to hear. She's available. She is social. She's motivational. There's many, many good things on the face of a prostitute. But I don't know. Now they call them sex workers. I'm not that out of date with the times. But the fact of the matter is, a sex worker is a sex worker. Does the beauty and the soft words and the soft skin and the luring offset the fact that this person is having sex for money? Well, maybe in your mind it does. In my mind it doesn't. The few things that the Mormon Church was positive to me about, and good things that help influence my life for good, do not offset the hideous cult, satanic, anti-Christ philosophy of a cult. The few things, the little bit of beauty, the little bit of things that were good in my life because of the Mormon Church, do not even begin to offset the hideousness of that cult and the damage it did to me and the damage it does to the entire world. Lying, cheating, stealing, and putting on a Jesus mask and leading me to believe they were the followers of Christ and that they were the prophets of Christ, that he spoke to them on a regular basis and told them to tell me how to live and what to do. So, this video is a little bit of a balance. It wasn't 100% negative, but it was predominantly in my old age now, looking back, seeing what I did, how I got here, where I am. It is a vicious, deadly, hideous, anti-Christ cult. But it did have a pretty face, and it was soft, and it whispered in my ear, and it lured me in. It lured me in. Thanks.